Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Q&A, where today, myself, Anthony Fisher, I'm joined by Miss Sydney Bragwin over here, and then far off into the ether, we have the one, the only, Mr. Dane Jeffrey Hennon here, ready to do some detailing on a Toyota Sienna. Dane, what's going on?
You know, it's a beautiful family hauler vehicle. I think it's a fine machine. I really love the wheel choice here. Anyway, I could go on, but all you need to know is this thing is a performance machine and then some. I've got a pretty interesting wash array here to go with. I'm going to be doing the wash. I know you guys are kind of shocked by that. I'm even wearing gloves for all the people who complain in the audience sometimes. So I figured I would get you before you could get me. Anyway. I've got this awesome lineup between built hamber and armor. You can see I'm going everywhere from the iron decon approach to the wheels, the tires. I'm doing the entire exterior on this thing, and it's going to get a touchless treatment, so that's going to be the built hamber touchless, but then I'm going to follow up with Shampoo Plus from Armor. So that's going to be mostly my wash regimen. Apart from that, we'll be targeting specific areas. You'll watch me do my thing, which is probably a lot slower than you experts at home, but that's okay. You can judge me all you want. I'm here for that. I'll just be the clown, you know, the circus dancing in the background while you guys answer everybody's detailing questions. I did make it so that today was kind of focused on like a family hauler kind of direction for detailing. So if you've got questions about minivan detailing, stuff like that, throw them at us. We are ready. Anyway, that's enough from me. Let me get started.
All right, Dane. No, thank you very much. And we're excited to see you detailing in the back there. You're going to do an amazing job. We're not worried about it at all. Not even a little bit.
Nope.
So Sydney and I are going to be answering most of the questions here and kind of be driving the show. But as usual, if you see anything in the background that's interesting or you want to just ask questions about it, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm going to be doing my best to keep up with this. I am running the iPad today. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but you know.
Good luck.
Here we are. We're doing it. Honestly, it'll probably be a very efficient Q&A. We're probably going to get everybody's questions answered. So with that said, Sydney, how are you? How's your day?
I'm good. I already did a full detail today.
Did you?
So, yeah,
okay. All right.
I've been on it. I did it's actually one of my favorite cars. It's the Audi RS5.
Ooh.
In like the Nardo gray. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So fun. Yeah.
Sick. Very, very cool. So you did some detailing and now you are here for Q&A to answer more questions about detailing.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
All about it.
All about it. What did you get to drink? What did you get from Starbucks there?
No, this is not Starbucks. It's Mocha Mousse.
Mocha Mousse?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's where I go. You don't know about the Mocha Mousse?
No, I thought you went to Starbucks. I thought you went to like, what's Mocha Mousse?
Mocha Mousse. It's at the base of Bogus Basin.
Okay. And what's so good about it in comparison?
Well, that's where I get coffee every single morning, but this is strawberry peach smoothie. Oh, they can't see it.
Strawberry peach smoothie.
Strawberry peach smoothie. So they mix the two, whipped cream.
Delicious. Yeah,
Super great.
It looks good. It's mostly whipped cream inside there.
Well, you gotta have the whipped cream or why go?
Well, anyway, so we do have to cover some housekeeping here at the Rag Company right now, and I might need Dane's hands for a minute. Dane, before you start getting handsy with the Toyota Sienna and hitting the cord.
I'm making sure to hit it a lot.
Yeah, make sure that hose.
I'm gonna drop that for everybody.
Yeah, so make sure the hose hits that paint real good, right? It needs a few more dings in it. So, Dane, can I have you walk over the table for me, please?
Over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now at the Rag Company Q&A, you guys are getting, a sneak peek if you haven't already seen it yourself. And let's just say a little hint, right? Dane, there's a blue towel on the table. Would you be able to hold that up for us and show it off to the camera? Ooh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Are these here?
That, my friends, yes, these are here.
How am I missing all this?
The Rag Company Slim Dryer Towels are now secretly available at theragcompany.com in all 3 colorways. This includes the camo color, this amazing royal blue, as well as a very neutral gray. And all of them are going to have the Ragco theming on them in a wonderful dye transfer print that we've done. It's non-bleeding print, and you can see how awesome these things look. Personally, the camo is my favorite. That was like my baby during the whole thing. But I'm also a huge fan of the blue. I think the gray is really neutral as well. So it's really going to be different strokes for different folks. But coming in at $21, 630 GSM at a 25 by 35. This is a South Korean made towel made with the most premium Korean yarn we can source. And yeah, man, I'm pretty obsessed with this thing. The Slim Dryer, the best way to describe this towel, it's meant for people who aren't big fans of big bulky towels, right? So this is going to be a half-side, right? I guess a half-sided twist loop. The other half is going to be twist loop backing. The backing material is 100% paint safe, but the backing material works amazing at cleaning glass. It's going to give you a streak-free finish every single time, whereas the twist loop's really going to be the more absorbent side when it comes to actually drying power. So the Slim Dryer is available right now at theradcompany.com, but shh, keep it a secret because we haven't sent out the email campaign yet. Right, this is just between us and the people here within the chat. So pick them up. We're hopefully not going to run out of stock soon, but you just never know with this kind of stuff. So I have a feeling that people are really going to love that once it gets available on Amazon and we start actually shipping a ton through there. So anyways, Slim Dryer is now available. And then, of course, throughout the week, we've been dropping new videos from TR SEMA that have been cut up and have been kind of repurposed for the Rag Company main YouTube channel. And there's some great videos in that mix, Sid. And so what was one of your favorite segments?
You know, honestly, I really enjoyed the last cut.
Okay, good.
Really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
And then... Gosh, what was my other favorite one? I thought that still like such a shout out to the ego one. Like that one was so fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Ryan killed it, dude.
He killed it.
He did such a good job.
Yeah.
And I think the way we kind of like, we were joking around in that being like, oh, you know, we're out camping. We're having a good time. Oh no, we're losing a little bit of light. What do we got? Oh, we got this.
Yeah.
Oh man, we have to charge some stuff up. The generator. We had like we created this whole like scenario.
And the whole was it Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah. I don't know what, whatever the heck he threw on there.
That one was so good. The ego one was so good.
We really like that segment. So there's just been a lot of good segments that we've been able to pull from TRCMA and then cut up to where it's kind of just a more digestible form. And so those have been coming out weekly, and then of course more main channel content is on its way. And so really we are kind of just coming out of the whole TRCMA thing with trying to get back into the flow of creating more consistent content, more helpful content for everybody watching. We also had Star Wars Day, right? Which was also pretty funny because I get to do a little bit of my best Anakin impression. And what was so I did like it was like this whole thing about like me not liking sand, right? You know, I talk about how like it's coarse and
I saw you with the format.
Well, so Sid, you've never seen Star Wars, have you?
You know, I saw like what is it, like episode 4, 5, 6 when I was little, and then I found out that there was a 1, 2, 3, and I gave up on the whole program.
So there is, so there's a lot more than that now. Right? There's like a 6, 7, 8 now, or 7, 8, 9 now, but there's a lot. So what's funny is that our friends over at the Rag Company Europe, so they did another kind of parody of a scene, right? We unprompted, we had no idea they were doing this. Like we kind of did our own parody. They did their own parody, but their parody was like, so there's a scene, and shouldn't be laughing about this, but there's a scene where Anakin, before he turns into basically Darth Vader, right, where he goes off this like bender and he's like killing everybody, right? Well, there's a scene where he goes and like kills these younglings, these very essentially, I don't know, anyways, but these young Jedis, right? And they remade that scene because the joke is that they ran out of like chenille mitts or something like that for the thing. And I go, out of all the scenes you guys could have made this one. Oh no. So it was it was pretty funny, man. So anyway, so shout out to the Rag Company Europe for always taking it to the next level. They do
a great job.
And I think that's been pretty much it, right? So Slim Dryer is available now, more content coming out, and then an FYI, I will be gone for the next couple weeks, so I will not be on the next few Q&A Thursdays. So it's going to be I think Sid, Dane, and whoever else is going to be chiming in. Yeah. And so I'll be watching from a distance, but I'll be watching in a very, very tired, sleepless state with the new baby coming. So, all right. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We have 3 pages full of wonderful comments. Nice. So let's go ahead and jump into this.
Let's do it.
We got Sharp Blue Turbo saying what's going on. We've got Dino in the house saying what's going on, boys and girls. And then some Happy Friday Eves. And then Matt here we have as a comment. Says, I have a black Chrysler, town and country, no garage, no shade.
Ooh, sorry about that.
Okay. Well, You gotta do what you can. Dan, fight
Yep.
for Sydney. You want to read this one?
Yes. Good afternoon and word up from a warm and sunny Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. Detail season is in full swing at my garage. Same here. And can we just mention the Friday Eve? Like this week has been like a week, right? Like this week. Like it's still Mondaying. So yeah. Thank goodness for Friday Eve.
Tamara says, my late father owned a white Sienna minivan and he loved his. You know what, Tamara? I like to think that he's still out there driving. He is out there driving that white Sienna and loving every moment of it.
I do know so many people that have had Siennas that just absolutely love them.
Yeah. Pablo saying, boom. Hello, everyone. And then, is this Anthony's new family flex? No, it is not. It is not.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
It is not. I don't know. My wife the other day, you know what she said to me? She goes, would it be the worst thing in the world she's like, would it be the worst thing in the world if we got a minivan? And I go, I can't believe I'm hearing you say this. Mm-hmm. And probably, but it would probably be like the best thing in the world as well. And she's like, I don't know. I just feel like, maybe it's just easier to do things. Like, I guarantee you it is easier to do things, but you're driving a minivan.
Yeah. I do remember having this conversation with Gabe when baby number 2 was coming.
Yep.
And he had to just let it go. I do sometimes have FOMO when I see minivans. Like I would never do it ever. But I do, like when I have detailed nice ones and stuff, it's like, oh man, these are so functional. Yeah. And sometimes we get them as like rental cars and stuff, and it's like they're very functional.
It's like 20
and
cup
the whole
holders
sliding,
in them.
I know, but the sliding doors when you park and your kids have to get out when they're like 3-4 years old, the sliding doors have got to be the greatest thing. But minivan was on that like list of, when Mike and I were dating and we had to have the talk of like what's off the list, what's off the list that is just, like reasons for divorce, and like owning a minivan was one of them. So
wow.
Yeah.
Can't believe that.
It was hard on the list, no minivans, but it was on both our list.
Yeah.
So that was
makes
good.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I some of the new minivans are incredibly nice.
So like, functional.
They are
they really
super nice. Yeah. And there's no denying that. I think it's mostly just, dude, you're cruising in a van. Yeah. And I don't know. Who knows? Never say never.
Yep.
Hans Closen saying, where is the guy in the middle? The guy in the middle today is actually washing a vehicle. He is doing detailing things, so we need to support him. Give him a round of applause because he is he's really putting in the work today. He's earning his paycheck.
Yes. Hey, quick heads up.
Yeah.
If people thought I was going crazy laying it on way too thick on this thing, I just want to clarify.
We weren't.
I was
Dane.
told to empty out the entire cannon before I switch over to Shampoo Plus. So
no, Dane,
that's what I was doing.
Dane, nobody's judging you, man.
Yeah. Use it all.
You do you, okay? So, all right. So we have Alex says, catching up on this one later. Love you all. Thank you, Alex. Whereas Joey, we know Joey's hard at work right now, and he's able to do this. So says he cannot believe that Dane is cleaning the minivan. Yeah. I'm so glad I'm here for it. Joey, thanks for being here. Thanks for chiming in.
Dane, are you cleaning the inside too?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's not be crazy.
I know, that's what most people are tuning in because they're like, oh, minivan cleaning. Obviously, he's going to do the inside. Mm-hmm. I'm not that crazy, sorry.
Alpha Tango says, shout out to ADS Adapt Waterless Wash. Works great for quick cleanup after my 3-hour drive to work. The scent triggers the happy molecules in my brain. Bottled summertime. I like that. I
used a lot of Adapt today, too. I love it for door jams.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think you and Delaney both, right? Are both really into it.
All about the door jam. Yep.
Okay, everybody's saying what's up. We got people saying hi in the house. We've got Neil that says he's a proud owner of a minivan. Or maybe he's saying that Dane's a proud owner of a minivan. I'm not really sure. We've got David Cervantes says, what's going on, Sydney? Says, what's up?
How's it going, David?
And then, we got a special request here from David Boystein. David would like you to do some cheerleader splits if possible.
Yeah.
I can't promise splits. I can do a high kick, though.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, let's get this camera? All right, yeah, sure. Why don't we just do that? And zing. There you go. It's as high as my head.
So what's crazy is
I honestly think that's higher than I could do it.
No,
left leg. I've never actually high kicked with my left leg. That's the first time I've ever done that. So you just saw something new.
Now, what's crazy about Dane, right? I mean, and I think that this was mentioned in a previous Q&A, is that
oh, no.
I think that if I think depending on the super chat amount, he would be able to kick up his leg and grab his ankle and hold it and spin.
Oh my gosh.
So
The floor is so slick, I would die.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Let's not get too carried away.
Slick Auto Science says, I wish we had that Toyota Alphard in the U.S.
Yes, I was about to say. As far as vans go, Toyota Alphard is like the coolest thing. They're ugly as sin, but the inside, incredible.
Okay. Juice Free saying what's going on, and then we've got the one who shall remain nameless.
What are we calling him today?
I can't really think of a name today. Sydney, you have any names off your head?
Let's just go with Archie.
Archie, okay.
Archie.
Archie, okay. Archie says, good afternoon, happy Friday, Junior, from the sunny south coast of Massachusetts.
Friday Junior, I like it.
And then, I love this comment right here. Joey Valencia says, I see Anthony has the white pants on again. Oh, wait. Yeah, so I wasn't really sure for some reason my attire this morning, because yesterday I wore pants and I got really hot. So I was like, I'll wear some shorts today. And then I'm kind of keep forgetting that most of the shorts I have are exceptionally short and are showing just a little bit too much thigh, if that makes sense. And so,
oh gosh,
enjoy the show, man.
Woof.
I don't know what else. Yeah, woof is right, Dane? Anyways, moving on here, we've got Julina says, any tips for detailing an engine bay that has powder coated and polished aluminum components? I spent hours and hours polishing the metal, and keeping the polished metal perfect drives me crazy.
Yeah, it will just drive you crazy. Generally speaking, like the powder coated parts are pretty easy, but the polished aluminum is hard. When I'm doing like older vehicles, classics and stuff, I usually just use the steamer, honestly, with Absolute in it. That's like the easiest way to go. And then I make sure I'm not leaving any chemical burns behind on anything. Like that freaks me out. So, but polishing the metal, unfortunately, if you want your metal to be perfectly polished, you're just going to have to keep doing it.
So you could what you could possibly do, right? If you're detailing an engine bay that has, those kind of components and you're worried about, I don't know. They're always going to collect dust. So it's going to collect dirt if it's daily driven. It's all that, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It means you're cleaning it more often, or you are, finding ways to clean it that may not introduce more dirt or cause any issues with the aluminum, right? So, like, for example, any type of higher pH cleaners and stuff like that might affect the shine of some of the polished aluminum components. Powder coats are going to be fine, but, this is where maybe a steam cleaner would be helpful, right? So you can go through and steam clean everything, do that often. You're not introducing a ton of water into the engine bay, and you're also not really having to use any harsh cleaners, right? So maybe like something like a rinseless wash in your steamer may be a good choice for you. So that would be something I'd consider.
Yep.
Joey Belinsky says, Mocha Moose, I miss you.
Yes, it's the best. I'm surprised you've never been there. It's like the best place ever.
I've never been there.
It's like a field trip. So when people come from all these other companies, they hear me talk about the Mocha Moose. We have to go to the Mocha Moose. And you live here and you've never been there.
So where is it at?
It's right. Do you know where Lulu's Pizza is? At the base of Bogus and like Cartwright?
So the base of Bogus.
Yeah. So Bogus Basin.
Are you talking about where the church was?
Like north of Hill Road. Yeah, so there was a church in the parking lot, and then Lulu's Pizza and Sushi. Yeah. It's like right there on the corner.
Okay, so it was that same parking lot that had the big church in it.
Well,
so you're coming down, you're leaving from your house.
Yeah.
And there's the one church there on the right.
Right.
You take a right, you go down the street a little bit, and it's on the left.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Same parking lot.
Yeah.
On the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
I don't know anybody that pulls in that parking lot.
I pull in there every single morning.
Really? Every morning?
Every single morning.
Wow, Sid. You're crazy. All right, so we got LR. It says, when will Built Hammer be available at TRC? Will you have the new review? TBD, man. Yeah, TBD, LR. I'm just going to leave that there. And then Joey Belinsky says, that's a pretty blue. It is a very pretty blue. We really like that blue on the Slim Dryer towel.
Yeah, I can't wait to get one.
Juice Free says, what scents of air freshener is most requested from soccer moms?
Man, I don't know. I'm going to say, isn't it usually like something, I'm trying to think of what they normally have in there. It's like that. Yeah, like floral-y stuff. I feel like it's always that what are those Glade things? Like they all have those Glade, and they're always the blue one.
Oh, it's like,
Like
a
the aqua blue one?
fresh. It's like a fresh scent.
Yeah.
I think it's literally called fresh scent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably like a floral, fresh scent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like laundry detergent.
Whatever covers up the sock smell.
The sock smell, yeah. Okay, let's see. Sheepstar says, Vans rules, cars rule. Okay. And then, Joey Belinsky says that he may have purchased all 3 colors of the Slim Dryer. And that, my friends, is a true fan of TRC.
You know,
Joey.
he told me that yesterday, and it just didn't click with me. But he literally said to me yesterday, I can't believe I have all 3 colors. And it never clicked with me. Like, how did you get them?
Well, if you clicked all 3, you'll be all powerful. You know what I mean? I think it unlocks like a new level of power there in the drying realm.
Lucas saved me some. I'll place another order.
Random Reviews says a door salesman recommended using Carvax to protect our new factory painted front doors of the house. I use Seal shampoos and spray seals on my car. Would that work too, you think? Probably. Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever waxed the front door?
I would not wax it just because what we know about wax, it's going to protect your front door as good as it does a car, right? So I would honestly go with, there's so many good sprays on the market now that have, SiO2 in them that are great. I honestly would use a ceramic-based spray. Like probably any of them are going to be fine. Defender, Armor's ceramic sealant. I think any of those are going to do... what you're looking for there is the UV protection. Yep. Now, keep in mind, that's not what the products were formulated to protect against, water-based paint. So keep in mind, it may not work like it does on a car, but I don't think it can hurt anything.
Yep, agreed. Okay, so we've got Shark Blue Turbo says, looks great. And then David Cervantes says... Can we get a TRC & Co. Slim Dryer as a throwback to the controversial sticker design? Maybe rub a little salt in the wound. Yes. Do you remember that?
I do, but why was it so controversial? Because it was spelled wrong?
No, it's because it's the Rag Company & Company.
Oh, Tiffany & Co. one. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be kind of like a Tiffany & Co. theme, but then we did the Rag Company & Co., which is like the Rag Company & Company. So.
But you got to put the & Co., otherwise people don't get the Tiffany & Co. reference. Just as color
that was
matches.
Absolutely hilarious. Nate was very bitter about that, and he did not like that people pointed that out. We knew it internally.
I loved it. Yeah.
But it was pretty funny. And so, speaking of which, too, Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yeah.
We had a limited edition sticker while supplies lasted.
Oh, I did get one.
For the Corona-styled sticker. TRC Corona collab is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Corona doesn't know that we did that, so please don't tell them. We don't want to, cease and desist or some type of thing on our porch because of,
Well, we already desisted because, there was only so many that were made. So we already desisted, so that's fine.
Yeah, they're already gone. Yeah, so
it was a cool sticker, though.
It was a super cool sticker, man.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Actually, it's probably one of my favorites. I'm gonna try to find a spot on my water bottle here to put it on, but I'm kind of.
I would like a T-shirt with it on it.
T-shirt would be sick.
Yeah,
but I think we've already that ship's already sailed, unfortunately.
Okay.
Unless we can get Nate.
Yeah, Nate, he gives them to us and then he takes them away just as fast as he gave them to us.
No, and it's more of a compliment to him. Like, we love your designs, man.
Yeah.
Ryan Rignad says, happy Friday, almost weekend. Love watching Dane work. We love, Dane is very methodical about how he does things. He doesn't necessarily wash his own cars, but he's doing something over here.
I'm doing something.
Dane, so what's your process so far? Talk to us.
Slow. That has been my process. So I've been very methodical in the sense that I'm leaving no stone unturned. I'm going in all the nooks and crannies, got the wheel wells in between all the spokes, in between all of the areas that windows and doors have seams, and probably used way more water than a normal detailer would. So don't take what I'm doing as gospel. It really is just me just doing a thing. But I'm enjoying myself, and really, at the end of the day, isn't that what's important? Yep. And a clean car.
Yeah. No.
Almost got you guys.
Yeah, I saw it.
Little trigger happy. Scared you for a second. All right. Anyway, I'm off and running, so my mic can go off.
All right, Dane. Good job. Julina says, I got the camo one in the TRC in a giveaway one during TRCMA, and it's perfect for traveling with. Heck
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Juliana,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
That's great. We have Details Official. Says, got Dane in the background sweating. Get that man a Gatorade. Dane, serious question.
Yeah.
This is a serious question.
What?
What's your favorite flavor of Gatorade?
Ooh, I was always a sucker for the original lime, but I'm a zero sugar Gatorade guy. So lime or one of the Frost flavors. I like the Frosts.
You are a frosty boy. I mean, is it a blue? Are you a blue Frost guy? White Frost? Purple?
Depends on my mood. I tend to go more towards the citrus flavors. If I
Okay.
can get them. Orange, lime, classics, you know.
Those aren't Frost, Dane.
No, but what I'm saying is,
saying-
of the Frost flavors, I tend to go towards the more citrusy flavor ones anyway,
Yeah,
too.
but I'm saying the Frost is a berry flavored lineup, Dane.
Yes, they have the blue and the purple and that
That's
stuff.
all they have in the Frost. That's that is the Frost
I think I'm mixing
theme.
up my Frost and my zeros. So, yes.
Yeah,
there
there's
are
zeros in
zeros.
everything, but I'm saying the Frost is specifically
Okay.
white, blue, and purple.
So, of the Frost, I'm the purple. That's my
Okay.
move. I'm purple.
Okay,
There.
gotcha.
We've established now.
So, Sydney, there's actually only one correct answer on what the best flavor of Gatorade is, and
Well, now are we back on the Frost or?
no. So, Dane? What is that one that I really liked? It was the green one. It was a cucumber.
There's
lime.
a cucumber eucalyptus or cucumber lime kind of thing. I did love that one.
I think
yeah.
it's cucumber lime.
Interesting.
And it is
like
the
a very
best.
faint
It's the best
green
flavor.
Was it a
of Gatorade.
special one? I've
Very
never
tasty.
Heard that.
It was not. It wasn't supposed to be special. I don't know if they actually still make it, but it was like the most popular flavor in California. So if they got
I've
rid
seen
of it, I'd be
Albertsons and
shocked.
stuff.
I've never seen that.
But like
one.
as a former Californian in my my younger years, right? We liked certain candies and certain
Yeah.
things that were really popular there.
Yeah.
So as a grown adult, I will say there's nothing quite like getting the cucumber lime or whatever the heck it is. Cucumber. I think it's cucumber lime flavored Gatorade with a bag of hot Cheetos and or Takis.
Wow.
And I feel like that targets my very inner Valley Californian, and I love that.
What an interesting combo.
It's so good. It's like, and sometimes I put like tahini inside. I don't know if you know what tahini is, but like putting tahini inside that Gatorade, and it is like my mouth's watering right now.
Wow.
Yes, Dane, my mouth is actually like I am salivating right now at the thought of that.
That's so unnecessary. Although
it's
that is
not.
basically a Gatorade margarita at that point.
It is like a Gatorade margarita, Dane, and it is so good. Okay, so we have Alpha Tango that says, my TRCMA guests were the ZZ Top guy with the SF, Steven with the LC, and Mr. Powerful with Ego.
Yep.
TRCMA guests.
Those were his favorite.
Oh, okay, so Solution
so-
Finish. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Little
Yep.
Steve with Lake Country, and then Ryan with Ego.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Here we go. Shark Blue Turbo. I assume Dane will be doing a full interior detail and paint correction.
I hope so. We would need
Dane
some close-ups
Tamara with
for
a
that.
compliment says that Dane, you've lost a lot of weight. You look awesome.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
And
Working on
his
it.
flexibility is just increasing too.
I'm
which is
going to the
great.
tennis courts after work today.
Oh my
Are you,
goodness!
Dane?
Look at you.
Okay. And then we got Hans Closen says, when I was in the States, we had a red Sienna for the 6 of us.
Nice.
Ooh.
They are good rental cars. I highly
Yep.
recommend them.
Todd Hill says, have a customer with dog blood throughout when their dog got bitten. Tips for getting it out, please.
Yeah. So here's where if it's me, I'm going to take the carpet system from PNS and I'm actually going to start with finisher. So literally take the tip, put it on all the blood spots, then go back to cleaning, the Terminator, carpet
doing the
bomber.
peroxide first, then?
Yeah, but I start with the peroxide because generally speaking, when that peroxide hits blood, it just kind of bleaches it out.
Yeah, it does.
So
yeah.
I would start with that so that you're not spreading around the red from
Yeah.
the blood.
Yeah.
So I start with finisher in those situations and then start back over and go through the whole system.
I think it's a great idea. That way you're kind of identifying exactly where it's at,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it'll lighten that up almost
Yeah.
immediately.
And that way you're not spreading the blood. You don't want to do that.
Cool. And then we've got Tascanolan. Yep. I have Diamond Body 36 on my car. It's 2 years old. Still perfect. No swirls. If I prep the right way, will stout stick to it? If I put stout on my daughter's car, and wow.
Yeah. So prep the right way needs a little bit of definition. So I would when you say prep the right way, prepping the right way would include doing a light polish. It just will. It's just best practice. But yes, if you, just buzz over it, great that there's no swirls. If you just buzz over it, it's probably going to take down, since that is a roughly 3-year coating, you're going to take down that last year, I promise, with a light polish. And you don't need to go ham on it or anything. It does not have to be 100% removed, but buzz over it with, a good polish and pad and paint prep it, and you're ready to go for stout. And yes, it'll be just fine.
Cool. Joe Belinsky says, at Todd Hill Terminator, carpet bomber finishers got rid of blood every time for me. It's actually really cool to see it disappear.
Yep.
And then we have Joey that says, if Dane had no pants on, his legs would have done a full 360 with that high of a kick.
I one to myself.
Well, I mean, he's usually windmilling with one sort of body limb. So moving on here, we got Hans Closen says, is that move the downstairs kicking of a teen, Dane? Oh, man. It's too funny.
Had more forward momentum, less upward momentum.
Great. We have Tony M in the chat says, Dane really has the OG spec pants, apparently.
Yeah.
That's right.
Next up here, David Boyce says, that was impressive, Dane, with a laughing face. Anthony, your turn. How about you give us some cartwheels? So funny enough, did you guys know I used to be able to do cartwheels?
Really?
Yeah, I used to be able to do
I did too. I did too, and I can't.
Dane?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Can you still do a cartwheel?
It was a balance thing. I couldn't do cartwheels ever.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay.
man, I used to do like 10 in a row. I can't even imagine putting my body into that motion. No.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I never did one at like the height I'm at, but I can't even imagine throwing my body at the ground.
I think the last time I did a cartwheel was probably like 7 years ago. And I
7
remember
years ago?
I was actually at a park with my wife back then, and this was before we were married, and we were at a park. We were doing we used to take like the dog to go run at like the the circle track at the park, right? Or whatever, like the the running track, right? And I remember she was just like, can you do a cartwheel? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, let me see it. And I did it, and she was like super surprised, right? But like she wasn't necessarily like into it, but I don't think she was necessarily off put by it. I think when I did
She's not that into it.
It was kind of like, oh,
I guess
I don't know if I like that you can do that kind of thing, right? And I was just like, why? What's wrong with me, doing cartwheels? But I mean, she laughed, and
oh my God, I think both my
and
wrists would. God, it's probably been like 35 years for me. I think both my wrists would break. I think I would probably fall on my head. It would be really awful.
I remember I was pretty hell bent when I was younger on being able to do like one of those like standing like backflips, right? And seeing if I could do it. Dude, I would chicken out every single time. I'd practice on a trampoline. I'd be like, I'm gonna do this. And every time I'd go to throw myself back, there was just something in me that would not allow me to do it.
You would just think about what would happen if you landed straight on your head and your neck went snap.
Because there's some things that you watch people's bodies do and you go, tell me about the first time you did that. Like, tell me about how you like, I went to a track meet last week and they were doing hurdles, and I've seen hurdles on TV and stuff, but when you're
I used to run hurdles and
watching somebody, when you're watching somebody in person run hurdles, though, you're like, what happened the first time you went to throw your body into that shape? Like, I don't understand that. That's wild.
I do not know. David Cervantes says, I have a love-hate with minivans. We had a Caravan that we just could not kill. From a work perspective, they are such a pain. Reliability is a joke, and they are the hardest thing to work on ever. David, really.
But somewhere in there that he didn't mention, he loved it.
Charlie Turbo is laughing at Joey, and then we've got Steven saying, I used Absolute last night. So nice.
Yes, it is so nice. I'm a big fan of Absolute.
Exodus, I can't release these slides. At least not without some money in exchange.
I feel like they are released.
Dude, they are. I'm like, I'm already,
what more can you do here?
I'm showing quite a bit of thigh here, dude. I mean, it's
There's nothing left, man.
It's great.
It's quite a bit,
There's not a lot of mystery left. They're right there.
Yeah, and I'm not really, I've lost a little bit of that.
Guessing.
That thigh muscle. I really want to build that back up, so.
You gotta do squats.
I need to do a lot more than that. Let's see. We've got Joey Belinsky says, pretty sure there is a church in that parking lot.
Yes.
And then we've got DS says, how does the Slim Dryer compare to the old Twist and Shout as far as drying ability? So in my opinion, I feel that the new Slim Dryer is actually probably more functional than the old Twist and Shout was. The reason for that is being that, that was, the Twist and Shout was very much a first generation of short pile twist loop, and I think it was really good. But that particular towel, I feel like due to that style of weave and how tight the twist loop was, that it clogged it was probably one of the easiest towels to clog in terms of drying and using a drying aid. And also, it had flop to it, but nowhere near as much flop that the new Slim Dryer has, meaning that when you really throw the Slim Dryer over a panel, it's really going to contour to that panel significantly better than that of the old Twist and Shout. So I like to think of the Twist and Shout as an upgrade, even though it's actually a simpler design in general, minus obviously the really cool print on it. So here we go. We've got Corey Smith says, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the info. Thank you, Corey. And then, what brand of steamer do you use again? I was trying to find it. Do you have a particular steamer that you use?
Well, I use the Macola.
Me too.
But I have the 1387 or whatever it is, so it's like the little bit bigger one. The smaller ones are fine, but I like I think it's the 1387. It's the canister one that you pull behind you.
Yeah.
But I've had several of those. I love them.
Yeah, I still have my 1275, still on the original 1275 that I've had. It's awesome. Don't have any complaints with it for the money. You wait around for the right sale, $120 or so. Usually pays for itself in the first use or two.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's really smooth sailing. So, McCulloch pretty much kind of runs the gamut in terms of kind of entry level steamers. And again,
they have a fantastic warranty program.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I returned a Mini, but I use them hard, so they've all been my fault. But they're a great company that they do a great job with. Their warranty.
They do a great job, and those things are they're pretty durable.
Yeah, I love
for what
them.
it's worth. So next up here we've got David that says, hello everyone on this fine and lovely Thursday. David, what is going on, man? Glad to have you here in the chat. Tasca Nolan says, yep, I think we kind of answered that, right? Best, really polishing is going to be one of your best bets there. Let's see. Details Official says, yelling a product name, Traceless.
Yeah,
that's
Traceless.
all I have to say. Traceless is pretty amazing, man. It is, it's becoming a fan favorite here around the TRC. On the TRC household. So
that'll be going on the glass in a minute.
Alpha Tango says, I tried the TRC clay scrubber last weekend on a neglected Challenger. Followed the break-in instruction given by Anthony. Used Absolute 64-1 as lube. Zero marring. Don't be afraid to try it like I was. Yeah. Wow, that is a true testament. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I mean, those clay scrubbers are great. Yeah. I love the scrubber. I actually like the scrubber more than the towel, and it took me a while to get there, but I actually prefer the scrubber.
Yep.
But they're absolutely great.
Very cool, very cool. My butt is going. No, I'm sitting on this freaking Viper chair thing.
Yeah.
Because I can't. These chairs.
I was wondering why you looked so much higher than me.
I wondered how long it was going to be before you said something about the chairs again.
Man, these chairs are like the worst chairs. Like I just want I would. It's not even padding sit. I'm sitting on the Viper, topper thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like I'm sitting at this weird angle, and I don't know. Maybe my butt's just sore. I don't know what the deal is, but it is just. Just feels like mush back there. David Boyce, Anthony, how do I connect with Color Lock to get the correct vinyl seat color on my Acura? The color is called Parchment. After this request, I'll no longer razz you. Wow, David. You're telling me that this is all it took? This is all it would take?
Yeah,
so,
if you just answer, you're good.
David, I would shoot an email. Here's the tough part. Color Lock right now is kind of in a transitionary period, right? Overseas. And so what they're doing is they're moving a lot of the production and a lot of the expertise to a different area in Germany. And because of that, some of the kind of color matching experts are kind of, their hands are kind of tied right now with the move and all that's going on. So my best advice would probably be to reach out to Coach Chemie North America, and you can shoot those guys an email just at their email address asking for the best go-to person for Color Lock color matching would be, because I think that, for example, if if the original Color Lock team was still there before this whole move, then I think you'd probably have an answer really quick. But I think due to the move and the transitioning of locations for product development over there, I think it's going to be kind of messy trying to find the right person. So see if North America can point you to where you need to go. All right. Next up here, we got Joey Belinsky says he is a white frost guy all day long.
That was my answer,
What's
too,
up
for
with
the
this
frost.
angle, Glenn? Glenn,
Frost.
Glenn, so I said white, blue, and purple.
No, I just heard blue and purple.
What is this angle? Why are we here? Next question. We've got David Detail says, let's see, we're going to put this out here. Detail Dave, I should say. Glass cleaning, what's your preference? Finishing horizontal, vertical and exterior, interior glass, or just whatever you fancy on the day, or is it all just the same?
Oh, man. So for me, because I use my method of the applicator and the FTW, I don't have to worry about streaks, and so I don't pay attention to which way I go. I have always heard that, some people do vertical for inside, horizontal for the outside. But honestly, if you're using a good towel and a good product, you shouldn't have streaks.
It only matters if you're detailing an airplane.
You guys use comments for what the heck am I reading right now? Hold on, let's see. DS says Cinco de Mayo sticker is still on the website. Are you sure there aren't any left? So we did have 50 of them that we set aside for sale. There was a handful of them that we had shipped out with every order during Cinco de Mayo and the couple days afterwards. Anything that wasn't shipped out or anything that wasn't gone through during that time, we set aside 50 just for sale purposes. And so if you want to just purchase it just to be safe, then you can do that. If you don't want to take the risk of, maybe us potentially running out. So $2.99 gets you this freaking awesome sticker.
So cool.
And ideally, what I would do, dude, this would be pretty sick. I would take a Corona bottle. I'd take the sticker off of it. I would put that on there.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what I would do is I would mix it with your favorite, I'd put Express into your cleaner in there. And then I would rig a sprayer to go down into the Corona bottle.
Oh, yeah.
It would be glass. It would be very fragile.
I would thought you were going to say drink it, and I was going to say, no, it gets you kicked off Instagram.
What if you could attach an IK sprayer,
totally.
like a Canyon spray or whatever it is, into a Corona bottle.
Yep.
And have it, because Express is probably the closest color, yellow, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah, that could be kind of
cool.
cool.
Is that possible? Okay,
Yeah,
anyways.
that could be cool.
Moving on here. Wow. So Carson Black, our very own Carson Black says nah. NAH. And then follows up with this crap right here. Lime cucumber Gatorade is trash. Carson?
Shut your mouth.
Carson, do you like working here? Do you want to continue working here? All right. I think you need to retract that statement, okay, sir? Moving on. Joey Belinsky says there's a line of Gatorade that's in Spanish. I think that cucumber line is in there. I hope it is. That would be amazing. Here we go. Nathan, listen, dude, I think maybe from Carson, if you're coming out here to apologize, that's the only reason you need to be out here.
I'm sorry. I like my job.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Now, Carson, if you can be a good boy and run down to the gas station and get me a cucumber lime Gatorade. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so dude, not from Chicago. That is from Modesto, my friend. And we have Stephen Pearson saying, hello, good friends.
Hi,
and
Steve.
then this is hilarious, dude. Details official. Takis cucumber light Gatorade. You must be from the 209.
Oh no.
Yes, I am. I am.
He is.
It's those flavors are ingrained into you as a young child,
That's
right?
so funny. So you came from the 209 to the 208?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Wild.
Modesto,
That's
baby.
crazy.
209 was the area code there to 208. So it didn't really seem like that crazy of an area code jump, to be honest. It just
Well, how did that fall into line? I wonder.
Dude,
you could not be more different.
I do not know.
That is so
but
funny.
But like that was we called that like the breakfast of champions, right? So when you're in like junior high or high school, you would, typically, because we walked to school back then, right? And we walked to school and we'd stop at the gas station, get some hot Cheetos. And I don't know. Back then though, we weren't drinking. There was no cucumber line Gatorade when I was a kid, but we would grab like the Sobeys. Do you remember what Sobeys?
Yeah.
You know what Sobeys were? Yeah. So you got like a Sobe, like a glass bottle Sobe, and like some some hot Cheetos or something of that nature.
Remember balls? WLZ.
Yeah, I remember balls. I wasn't drinking those when I was a kid, but I mean I was drinking. I was stopping and getting myself the Sobeys or whatever. The Arizona iced teas are pretty popular.
The Arizona iced teas. Now Arizona iced tea. I want to know how, when the world has just gone crazy with inflation, how is Arizona tea still the
99
same
cents?
Dude,
like serious question there.
I don't know, man.
That's the wildest thing.
I don't know. Exodus SFX says hot Cheetos, Takis, Tahini. Anthony is a true Cali man of culture. I am. But I do love Idaho. Carson Black says, I think it's the McCulloch 1275. You are correct.
Perfect. Yeah.
Corey says thank you, and then Joey says that he wouldn't even know how to start a cartwheel at 6'7".
Don't try it. Yeah.
I think he could probably pull it off, man. That's
there's
terrifying
gotta be
to think
something
of.
to do. Yeah, there's. Yeah, but if you think about like when kids are doing cartwheels, like their torso and legs are proportionate. I think at 6'7", you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that would be a good idea.
No,
Joey, let's not.
I don't know what his wingspan is. Kevin says, Anthony, just watched that video of you and Matt discussing microfiber. Any ideas when we'll see that 12x12 FTW? Kevin, I know that we are working on trying to get some of these other, kind of custom towels going for Matt. But I know that they're still kind of in the process right now. I know that both of us have had a lot going on, and but I know that eventually we will probably get something like that sorted. Metal Lunar says, hey guys, I just got your Ultra Clay decontamination mitt, and I noticed the other side feels like microfiber. Is the other side safe to use on such as for polishing or removing? It can be, and it is microfiber, but that is not your use a towel.
Yeah.
That is really just going to be a backing and something that would be able to hold liquid, and that's why it's microfiber, because if you dunk it into soap and water, if you're using a clay lubricant, it just means that it's going to hold on to some more lubrication to release during that process. It's not necessarily meant to like remove compounds or anything.
Yeah, I don't ever use that side. But since that came up and we talked about the scrubber earlier, we should mention that the clay scrubber, the other side of the clay scrubber, can be used as a bug scrubber.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. I mean, I think you're gassing me up over here, dude. Thank you very much. Next up here, we've got David says, question out of right field. Are the tariffs going to affect the pricing on the website, or is it still too early to tell? So what I will say is we are very aware of kind of what's going on there, and we are doing our best to kind of navigate the whole situation. It's kind of, it's a little bit new territory for many, many companies out there, and, us included. And we are trying to, do what we can to keep everything affordable, make it to where the products are still possible and reasonable and feasible to bring over here. But just know, it's on our radar. We're watching it. We're hoping that the situation, I don't want to say corrects itself, but becomes a little bit more reasonable down the road. So we are watching that closely, but we're doing what we can. Sheepstar says, 100% recommend Dupre steamers. I have 2, been flawless, and customer support has been awesome. Great to know, Sheep. I like that. And then we've got Joey says, Sheepstar and the little cube is the little cube kind of interests me. Okay. And then, yes, I did mention this chair, how uncomfortable it is. You need to drink. And I am butthurt, Ryan. I am. I'm telling you, it's like a weird, it's kind of like it's just like.
Well, because I don't think the hard seat is supposed to go on the soft seat.
No, I don't think it is. I think you're right, but I don't know how else to fix this freaking chair. I just need more, I want it to be more supportive and not sink in. I don't want this chair to eat me.
Well, you
it's
need
what
another
it does.
one of these
it eats me
under your butt.
Yeah, I don't know what the...
I had were great, but you guys didn't like those either.
I would take those chairs back at this point. Okay, next up here. David says, as Dane doing is Angels in the outfield impression. Yeah, he is. He is doing that. He's going to be waving his hands up and down. Cav says, are pianists working on a new version of Absolute?
No. I think Absolute will stay as it is. I mean, I think they're probably working on other stuff, but not a new version of Absolute.
Okay. What's a good windshield wiper fluid? I don't know, because it's unpure to use, Barney. Levi really liked Orange Rain-X. That was his favorite.
I use the same. Yeah.
Dane's Orange.
Yeah, that's probably what we use too. But I'm like you. I don't really use it.
Last time I used it, I scratched my glass in my window.
Oh. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of wiper
there's no
fluid,
reason
but I mean
for me to
sometimes
ever
it's
use it.
necessary. But yeah, I probably use the Orange Rain-X too.
Yeah, I think Orange Rain-X is probably your best bet because it's realistically, it's probably going to have more friction modifiers in there to change the surface tension due to the fact that it's actively trying to essentially just create a new repellent on your windshield, right? It's a hydrophobic window spray, right?
Yeah.
Comparison to a standard wiper fluid, which is just going to be more for cleaning.
Yeah.
This is going to clean and protect. So you would probably the Orange Rain-X would probably make more sense because if that's the chemical nature of it, then I would imagine it would probably have better encapsulation properties as well because it's continuously making that area hydrophobic. So, yeah, Orange Rain-X would probably be your best bet.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dave Detail. Traceless towel and method for best results. 1 or 2 towels. Dude, I don't know. We've been doing the 1 towel method with traceless, and it seems to be working just fine.
That stuff cuts.
It cuts through, and it also flashes off pretty fast. You may not even have a chance to get to a second towel. Stephen Audette says, "What are your favorite ways to use the Eagle as 365?" Favorite way to use the Eagle as 365? Don't know what that means. Are you saying what's your favorite way to use an Eagle edgeless as a 365? Steven, help us out. Give us a little bit more information. Oh, man. Let's see. David says, Anthony close-up is back. Can we get a super close-up this time? We don't need any more of a close-up than what we already had. Trust me. Let's see. We've got Ryan Rigdon. Says, putting new-to-me Koenig wheels on the V-dub tonight, Anthony. I'll be thinking about you. Ryan.
Nice.
Enjoy that process.
Oh, boy.
If you could light a candle, make sure your hands are clean and pure. Sanitize them before putting the new wheels on. Maybe put on some Enya in the background. And then afterwards, treat yourself to a bubble bath. Possibly a nice cold drink. You've done something amazing tonight. The celebration of Koenig wheels, it's a beautiful thing.
I need some Koenig wheels.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on, we've got Mikey that says here, finished a 32 ounce of rehab, going through withdrawals, need an intervention with weekly therapy.
Yeah, I know.
Do you see what he did there?
Yeah, I do. And that was, don't we all, right? So intervention is still a couple weeks out, but man, I can't wait for it to come out. But therapy, holy cow. Amazing. Yeah. But I'm going to need to start with that intervention. What are you using, Dane?
It's going to be an iron remover,
okay.
So good luck.
Coconutty. That's the ADS.
Honestly, out of all the ones I've smelled, this one is not offensive.
No, I'm okay with that one. Let's see here. We've got... Where am I at? I've lost my page. Here we go. David Cervantes says, lemon lime Gatorade is the only way to go. And then Swag On. Here we go. Jimbo Slice says, Swag On. Nice touch. And then we have Alpha Tango says, just kidding. Not really, though. LOL. And then we have Woo J here in the house saying, I found some Diamond some DB Quick Body that was misplaced and it's over a year old and never opened. Am I still good to use? Yeah, you're probably okay. Ryan, fine detailing is from the 818. Shout out to Callie. Right on, dude. And then Neil White says, I had no idea Cucumber Lime Gatorade was real. Must try. Neil, if it's still available, you have to.
I know. Can somebody Google that? Because I would try it.
Would you try it?
Yeah. And I won't try a lot.
It's
so
like it's like super refreshing to me.
Yeah, I would try that.
It tastes like fresh, but like they have a sugared version and a non-sugar, like a zero. I always try to find the zero when I can.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if they're still making it.
It sounds good.
Quite a while. Here we go. Steve Pearson says that Sobe was so cool. It really was.
I do remember Sobeys.
It's still available, Glenn? It is still, and is it still available in a zero?
Do you have to order it from some strange...
We're doing research on the back end. I don't think we have to order. I think it's probably available at most gas stations.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. That's crazy.
Zero is available. Okay, then if Carson was a true TRC,
he would run and get us some.
If he was a true TRC fan, then he would run down.
It's the only way to complete this episode.
He would run down to the Shell down the street, get us a cucumber lime Gatorade to share for the second half.
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Wow.
Carson, you could take my Jeep.
Oh. Ooh, I like that. And maybe some hot Cheetos, please, nice. Carson.
You know, I've never had hot Cheetos either.
What?
They didn't exist when I was a kid, so I was a full-on adult and mother when
but you don't
hot
like
Cheetos came out.
You don't like hot stuff, though.
Yeah.
She's never had a hot Cheeto?
I've never had a hot Cheeto. I've never had a Taki.
Sid, what the heck? Okay, moving on here. Arizona Iced Tea doesn't have a marketing department. That is how.
Well, it's genius because it's like the only thing, like when we need to feel normal for a minute, we just go buy an Arizona tea because it feels like it's 1998.
Then Joey Belinsky says, let's put the Arizona tea people in charge of the economy.
Amen.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've got Dave Detail says, Sydney, do you use the applicator method for glass on every vehicle, even if it's fairly clean? And have you resist that way with traceless? Or have you done that way with traceless?
So I've never used traceless. You guys, I'm very sheltered. I've never used traceless, but yes, I do that method. I would say 90% of the time. Okay. If a car comes in and it's super clean, sometimes I'll just spray some, cleaner on a towel and clean them. But most of the time I use that same method. It's just faster, and then it's like insurance.
Okay. Steve Pearson says, Joey would get stuck between the floor and the ceiling.
He would be doing a handstand all of a sudden.
Here we go.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A ran COVID better than anyone we knew.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Exit says Arizona Iced Tea will never raise their prices and will go after stores that sell it for higher. I love that.
Good for them. Good for them.
Fine Detailing says, any shot for a 16x16 gauntlet using that in FTW for my final wife cutie would be lovely. Possibly, Ryan. That is something that is definitely very likely. Mainly because I think I messed up and I said that in a video. I actually said that in the gauntlet. I was like, this comes in a this size, this size, this size.
Does
and
it not come in a 16?
It doesn't come in a 16 by 16.
What's the smaller one?
16 by 24?
Huh. I thought there was a small square one.
12 by 12.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I was like, I thought there was a little square one.
So tired during that Everything You Need to Know, my Trevor video, that I was like numbers and GSM and all of that were starting to blur together. It was too funny. It was rough. Joey Belinsky says, laughing at Steve Pearson. And then we have, when is Slim Dryer coming to the UK? We believe that those orders have been placed by our distributors and will be leaving here soon.
The chair again.
I mentioned the chair again.
It's like a drinking game now.
And then here we go. We've got Robert Clark says, field trip video, Anthony and Dane go furniture shopping.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know if anybody would watch that, Robert, but I do think it would be fun because then we could find the perfect chair. I want it to be kind of like a three, what's that the bear situation with the chair? The bears and the chairs?
You're just talking about Goldilocks
and the three bears.
Yeah, I am Goldilocks.
Yeah, this chair is
I would wear a wig and I would go and sit in chairs to find the perfect one.
Well, let's do that. That sounds super fun.
It does, doesn't it? Okay, moving on here. We've got Lewis Haney says, Stilly's Mobile Details in the 209 as well. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And then Jimbo Slice says the orange stuff. Okay. So I think we are here at our halfway point right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a brief commercial break. We're going to hear from our friends and other partners here within the detailing industry. And after we return, we'll be back to answer more of your detailing questions, preferably with some type of cucumber lime Gatorade. So Carson.
Hopefully Carson wins.
Yeah, please, Carson. All right, we'll see you guys in a few. Well. Look at what we have here.
Things just happen.
You know, some people really want to keep their job around here. You know, I think this is a true testament to how fun it is working here.
He was really worried.
And he was really worried about it. So anyways, Carson went out and got us a cucumber lime Gatorade. So Sid could try for the first time. Sid, I got you a cup here.
That is nuts.
Give me your honest. You might, who knows, you may not like this.
Right. Well, I did just eat peanut butter, so we're going to see how this goes.
Oh, that's a...
Okay, so cucumber line. Now, what line is this? This is in the regular, just everyday...
Smell it first.
It smells like a cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
You know I don't eat anything green.
Yeah, but what about drinking something?
Oh, man.
Out.
Not for me.
Oh, man.
Man, I was raised in the
Sydney.
208. This is not happening.
Sydney, this
Sydney?
is...
Oh, wait a second. You've already got him. He gave me a nice one, a cherry. He gave me the white frozen.
He got me the blue frost because I said I liked the blue frost.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. Here's the deal, though. Not my favorite. Mm-hmm. But it tastes exactly like what you would think.
Yeah.
Like literally exactly what you would think. It tastes like cucumbers with lime on them.
Yeah.
I mean, that I will give you that. It literally tastes like cucumbers with lime.
Yeah, it's exceptionally refreshing. And what I like is, you know, that paired with just some tahini or some Takis.
Now that you totally lost me. I probably will not try hot Cheetos. I probably will not try hot Cheetos.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Carson, thank you so much. Wow. I feel really refreshed. Wow, I mean...
That's crazy.
This is wonderful. Anyway, so welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday, where we're here to answer more of your detailing questions. I actually did stand up, and I found out that my butt did, in fact, go numb where I was sitting due to this chair. And what I didn't know is that as I turned around and began kind of like feeling around my butt to see where it was numb, that my butt was actually facing the camera.
Right in the camera.
And I gave Glenn a full shot that most people would have to pay for.
Up close show.
So I am really sorry about that, Glenn, and we're going to pretend that didn't happen. So, moving on. We've now reached the second half, so we are ready to jump back into these questions. But just as a quick reminder, right now at theradcompany.com, you can pick up the new Slim Dryer Towel that is now available in all three colorways. So it's going to be the blue, the gray, and the camo. It's a freaking awesome towel. Dane's going to be using it here in just a little bit, and so just wanted to throw that out there for people wondering. 100% Korean made, 70-30 blend, 630 GSM. Thing is awesome. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so moving on here, we've got Lewis Haney that says, by the way, if the paint isn't bad, can I get a ceramic coating down with just a good wash with a good product in clay? You can't. You can absolutely do that without polishing, but you may not get the most adhesion possible if you don't polish. You know, you can go through the prep steps. Claying is definitely going to be better than not claying, but just know you're kind of sealing in however the condition of that paint is in. You know, with new cars all the time get ceramic coatings without being polished, so it's not impossible. It's just for the best adhesion possible.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was going to say. Is dealerships do this. I'm not a fan, and I wouldn't ever do it. But can you do it? Absolutely. Dealerships do that all the time. But you know, like you said, just keep in mind though that when manufacturers have recommendations and you don't follow those, just don't be one of those guys that goes out and complains about the product, because most coatings on the market, coating manufacturers will tell you not to do that.
Yep, agreed.
So just keep that in mind.
Okay. So, Neil White says that TRC is king of stickers. Just now seeing the Corona Beer stickers. Nice.
So cool.
And then we've got Barney, 13, says, is it better to use DI water in the wiper reservoir? Negative. DI water will freeze if your temperatures in your area get below freezing.
Yep.
Next up here, we've got rags and brushes.
I love that.
So I just got a seat. I just get a seat after a 36 hours drive, trying to relax watching you guys, by the way. What happened with the new drying towel from TRC? So the new Slim Dryer is now available. The M22 drying towel is on its way. So that's still going to be on its way. So I'd expect probably here within this next month. Steve Pearson says, I can't with this view. That zoom, dude. I'm telling you.
I don't know. Same view as
I don't know.
Camera zoom.
Yeah, it's killing me. I can see Anthony's pores, and that zoom is a perfect short. I'll be here all week. And then we have Hans Closen yelling Trivium. So I actually was listening to Trivium the other day, and I sent Joey Belinsky and Alex Dewar a screenshot, say to never forget Trivium Trish.
Right, Trish. Man, we all miss Trish.
What? Can anybody help me identify what episode that was?
Oh gosh, that was probably 20. When was
2021?
that? 22. I think you had just moved into your house though, so within the first year or two of you moving into this house.
I don't remember what main show it was. I don't remember. I don't even remember what the context was, other than me telling the story of how essentially this hooligan, this person, had been pulling out in front of my house, blasting music. Smoking cigarettes, didn't know who it was, and then I walk out there to find a middle-aged woman who was just trying to get away from her mom.
Yeah.
And then wanted to know what I listened to. Okay. Blurted out trivia, even though it's not really what I listened to.
I feel like it was not too long after you moved into your house, but I feel like it was before Lucy was here.
Yeah, maybe it was that. Yeah. Joey Belinsky says this camera view is single-handedly responsible for Anthony's second child. I don't know about that. But moving on. David Cervantes says, I gotta go a bit early. Have a great weekend, guys and gals. Thanks for a good time. We're here for a good time, not a long time, David. So next up, we have Steve Pearson that says, I'm with you on that one. And then it's really quiet without Dane. And he gave a thumbs up. So,
you know it.
Dane, we miss you, man. You know, and
I'm right here.
I'm
focused. I'm
Dane,
in the zone.
it's like you're still here with us. If we close our eyes,
I'm here in spirit only.
Yeah, if we close our eyes, it's like we can still feel your presence around us. Dane,
it's like Ghost. We're gonna do some pottery later.
Dane, are you spraying down some ADS Amplify?
I sure am, and God, it smells good.
So good, dude.
So good.
Yep.
It smells amazing.
And the Slim Dryer's doing work, man.
Is that Slim Dryer doing work?
Yes. No, I love it. I'm going to go back over the windows with Traceless after this, but for right now, I'm just using Amplify. I did beads a second ago. That's why the water was doing what it was doing.
So you did beads and Amplify? You're a crazy guy.
Yeah, doubling up. You know, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing. Nothing.
It was on his table. He's going to use it.
Yeah.
I'm here for the good whiffs.
Yeah. So what do you think beads doesn't really smell like anything, Dane.
No, it doesn't.
What do you think of the Slim Dryer's performance?
It is easy breezy. And somebody was asking earlier about how it compares to the Twist and Shout. I would say the experience is better with this. I enjoyed the Twist and Shout, but I think this, like, inch per inch, really, it pulls its weight and then some, even more. So I've been really happy with this. Just right out of the box.
Okay, we've got Jimbo Slice. I think Neil was saying that it is available, the cucumber lime. I'm telling you, dude, best seller in California. It's
How long has it been since you've had one of those?
Dude, it's been probably like 6 months, 7 months.
Oh, boy, I thought it was going to be years.
No.
Yeah, no, not that.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, like, I'm telling you, dude, like that. something spicy is like so good. Jimbo Slice, what about the Canadian water with the orbs? Precursor to boba tea. With the orbs.
Orb water?
What the heck?
What are you drinking, buddy? Did aliens abduct you?
Joey says that we need a Sydney Eats segment.
Yeah.
You're going to see like really basic things.
Cereal, chicken nuggets.
Yeah, chicken nuggets, French fries.
Yeah, French fries.
It's essentially like kids. You know what it is? Remember those?
You know what we should call it? Sydney dips, because that's where it's at. It's in the dips.
The dipping sauces.
Yes. Yeah.
She's a dipping fiend. All right.
You know what reminds?
like the ranch.
When I look at you, for some reason, do you remember the children's like microwave meals that had like the little penguin on the front?
Yeah, the kids cuisine.
Kids cuisine. Yeah, with like the little brownie.
Totally. I still eat those.
Like mac and cheese and chicken nuggets.
Those. Yeah, and the apple cobbler. I still eat those.
The kids cuisine.
Kids cuisine.
What's funny is those were delicious.
They were so good.
Those were delicious.
No, there's not. I'm not embarrassed.
Brownie fudge thing, whatever the heck that thing
colored
was.
Sprinkles on top.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Kids cuisine.
And if you didn't cook them all the way and you left the brownie like partially raw, so good.
That's so hilarious. Fine detailing. Ryan says Hot Cheetos and Mountain Dew was lunch some days in high school.
Man. Oh yeah.
Health. Yeah. Yes. So like my high school, I went to, in Modesto, California, I went to Grace M. Davis High School. That was my first year. My freshman year of high school was there, and then that's when I had moved to Idaho after that. But Grace M. Davis High School and Roosevelt Junior High School in Modesto, California. Feel free to look at the reviews sometimes. Like because I tell stories. I tell the stories of what it was like going to these schools, and everybody here's like, it wasn't that bad, Anthony. Like, there's no way. And it's like, and the reviews are about like stabbings and like gangs and like all this, like it was crazy, but like we all came together. No matter what, no matter who you were, where you were from, we all came together over what was available for lunch there, right? So at both my junior high and my high school, they had these. It was made by Tyson.
Go for it.
The chicken, the Tyson chicken. They had spicy chicken sandwiches, right?
Okay.
So it was like, I think they were meant for like lunch, like high school lunches and junior high lunches.
Yeah.
But it was a Tyson spicy chicken sandwich wrapped up in like a foil kind of thing.
Oh yeah, and
right?
it had a piece of cheese on it, right?
It had a piece of cheese on it, yeah. So it was like I think it was like a white cheese or something like that was melt on there.
Yeah,
but
we had those.
The chicken sandwich was spicy, so they would sell that, and you would order that with a nacho cheese cup and the waffle fries. Okay. So they had like waffle fries. So then you would like literally pile the fries onto like this the spicy chicken sandwich. My mouth is freaking like I'm like gushing like saliva. Yeah. And then you would dip that into nacho cheese and eat it.
I didn't need to hear Anthony's gushing. That's a new one.
It was crazy. Yeah. It was so good, and all the students came together. Yeah. We set aside the stabbings, the gang violence. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like who was getting picked on, who was getting shoved into a locker, like all that got set aside to eat a good lunch, and then it was back to it. Yeah. But there was a good like hour of peace.
Yeah, back in the day, school lunches were good. I remember going through. Remember, you'd get the printout of what was for lunch for the whole month.
Yes, I do remember.
And I would go through and like circle. Like I would plan my entire month over the school lunches.
Would you really?
Like we had really good school lunches, but we had like those chicken sandwiches. The chicken sandwiches were so good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Moving on. We're on page 2 right now, and then we've got just got my Press-All sprayers, says Brian. And then is the 2100 or whatever new drying towel still on the way? And the M22 is still on the way, Tony. Yep. And then Brian says that Anthony's legs need some sun. Well, trying, man. I don't really know what to do other than I walk out there and. I don't. What is a grown man supposed to do to get some sun?
You need to get a
on his
lawn
legs?
chair and go and like put it out in the sun and like sit out there for
extended periods of time.
No, just like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, they will. It's early in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get somewhere. Brian says he wasn't looking. He says he just couldn't miss it. Okay. I just got here breaking already. And then Joey says, I really hope the Gatorade shows up. And it did.
It did.
David Boyce says, my IK2 e-foamer arrived on Tuesday. It's glorious. And Joey is also agreeing, saying that he loves his. We have some F-Yaz in the chat. And then we have Exodus that says, how do you guys deal with cars that have wiper scratches on the windshield glass? Is it worth trying to polish, or should you tell them it's not fixable? So Exodus, I'm going through this existential crisis myself, and I'm working on it. And some of them can be polished out. Some of them are worth attempting to polish out, but it really is just going to depend on the severity and how deep they are. And that's when you kind of make your decision. So, Clarity Cream is going to be amazing at really clarifying the glass, but when it comes to actual scratches, cerium oxide, I think Sydney said she's going to order some stuff for me to try here pretty soon. And I'll give you guys some feedback here. We'll let you know what I found out. But I found that a kind of a concoction that works pretty well is taking something like Fast Orange or like Gojo, that is a pumice hand cleaner, and mixing that with a little bit of compound of your choice, 50-50 split, usually a good place to start. Mixing that up by hand into a little container, and then putting that onto a pad and running that. The pumice actually does a pretty good job at knocking down the scratches on glass. Not as probably as good as a cerium oxide, but it definitely does something. Moving on here, we have Jay's Cars channel that says, I'm guessing this would be the case, but can we switch out the sprayer on the e-foamer to apply standard spray chem like a rinseless? And the answer is yes, you can. You can technically do that. Yes, and you can also convert your IKE foamer to a multi-sprayer as well if you choose to do that. Let's see here. We are moving on. Joey Belinsky says it tastes like California. And then Brian says that is something is gross. Jay's Car Channel. Exodus, I saw a product in Car Supplies Warehouse was essentially a system for polishing glass. I think the polishing glass is pretty difficult without something like that.
That's the thing I was telling you about.
That pad.
But what's it called?
I know what you're saying. Oh my gosh. I can't think of it.
But it's like a whole system. Like it's a heat gun thing that you have, and it's quite expensive. But I did see that in action, and it's very cool. But that would be like if you were somebody that actually did that as a service. I mean, because it's a very expensive. Why can't I think of that? Heck, that pad is. Why can't I think of the word that I'm trying to think of for that pad? Well, the glass pads are called felt pads, but what he's talking about is called glass weld, and it's like a felt pad. I mean, and it's like a gun that heats up the glass and polishes while it's heating and shooting water at it. It's pretty crazy. But the glass polishing pads are called felt pads, and they're all right.
Here we go. David Boyce. Fighting words. Absolute rinseless tastes better than cucumber lime. That is not true. Don't test that. You'll get very sick. Anthony talking about butt and chair drink. Yes. We're all drinking now. It's a fun thing. Neil White says TRC needs to invest in new chairs. We do.
I think, but isn't this the third set of chairs?
Yeah.
But I like them.
And these ones are the worst.
We honestly we should go furniture shopping, and we should all sit in them.
Yes.
And see what's best.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally. Moving on. Let's see. New butt would be cheaper, says Sheepstar. And then here we go. Exodus says sliced cucumbers with lime and tahini is a legit snack mom used to make for us growing up. So refreshing. Or good old Mexican fruit cup. Yes, dude, that sounds freaking delicious. Louis says, I recently discovered that Undressed Tire Prep is a fantastic rubber floor mat cleaner.
Yes, totally.
Yep. Jimbo Slice chiming in, saying that I am ceramic coating a car that had paint adhesion issues, missing large patches of paint. It was just repainted. I'm skipping polishing before ceramic to be safe. Any tips? Be careful. Not to lift an edge that maybe wasn't already treated. I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess my question here would be is what is scaring you about polishing it? My only advice here is to make sure that you've waited long enough after it's been painted. Because of the off-gassing of paint, you don't want to coat it too fast. Yeah. And so if you wait that, some say, 90 days or whatever. I've done it as soon as 30 days, but somewhere in that 30 to 90 day period, you want to let the paint fully cure before you coat it. And then once it's fully cured, you're absolutely totally fine to polish it, and there should be no harm. If it was repainted correctly, hopefully we're not going to have the same adhesion issues.
True.
And if it does, I wouldn't coat it, because you're just going to have the problem again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
True. Jay's Car Channel. Ant Dog was a funny guy. Thank you very much. Way funnier than that Levi character who used to be on here. Oh, Levi was funny. Sydney's an upgrade. Sydney, do you still have a Challenger? Mopar for the win.
I do still have the Challenger, and I have a Jeep SRT as well. But yes, I'll have the Challenger forever.
Nice. Jimbo Slice says Toyota White OEM paint did not stick to the body. Interesting. I actually took my tailgate in for a respray on the Raptor, so I'm running tailgate-less right now on the truck. Kind of looks kind of cool that way. It looks kind of mean.
Yeah, I did see that.
But I took that in, and so there's a dent in the aluminum right on the body line that PDR was not able to fix. So basically, I had him look at it. I said, hey, what do you think? He goes, dude, if I work on this, paint's going to crack. Because with aluminum is memory when it comes to dents and dings. And so if the aluminum stretches, then there's no room for that extra metal to go, right? Which means that it has to be worked harder, hotter, and, when doing that, your chance of paint cracking is like 100%. So because the ding was so sharp, my PDR guy said, dude, honestly, I'd probably just do a respray on it, have them pull what they can, have them fill it, Bondo it, whatever they can, just to, get the body line back to being correct. Yeah. And he goes, after that, we're good to go. Yeah. And I said, okay. So having that done right now, hoping that the color match is correct.
Yep.
Let's hope, right?
Scary.
Fingers crossed. Yep. And then that'll go back on, and hopefully by Saturday that will be done. So I'm excited to get my tailgate back. And then I got new badges for it. I made like templates where I could put the badges back on in the correct space. But I'm actually going to give it about 30 days for that paint to really off-gas and cure before putting the badges on. Because if I mess up, I don't want to have to take them off fresh paint. I had that happen. Actually, it was actually Dave that painted a car. Yeah. And Dave painted it. They took it to the dealership, and the dealership stuck the badges right back on. But I had already taken the badges off the entire truck. Yeah. It was like original paint that failed, on a new car. And so Dave did the paint, and then he went and got like an oil change, and the dealership stuck the big old Silverado stuff back on. And so then when we went to take it off, it pulled the paint right with it. So they had to repaint it again. Because we told them don't put the badges back on. Yeah. And they put it on literally 2-day-old paint. Yeah. It was crazy. I'm going to wait for that stuff to harden up and cure, and then I'll put it on. Yeah. But I'm in no rush. And honestly, I'm kind of debating, do I need, I like that it says Raptor on the back, because it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, right? Yeah. But I do think it probably looks cleaner without the badges. What do you guys think? Would you guys go badgeless on a Raptor tailgate with no badges, with the Ford logo still there? I'm a D badge, but I will say, so I debadged my Jeep, but I left the SRT because I'm I freaking paid for that. No, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. So I took off all the Grand Cherokee stuff. I took off everything but the SRT. But I don't have the stickers on the side that say Raptor, so nobody would even know. But I mean, if anybody knows cars, they know it's a Raptor by looking at it. I know, but what about the people that don't know and need to assert dominance? I don't know. That's a tough one. Yeah. It'll look really clean. It'll just be a nice, clean tailgate, nothing on it. I totally get the clean look, but I kind of want it to say. And I bought the badges already. Right. I would see how you feel. Give it 90 days, see how you feel. But I'm 50-50 on that because I left my SRT. I hate badges. I hate cleaning around them. I hate it, but I left my SRT ones. You guys, give me your thoughts 50-50. In the comments. What are we thinking here? Here we go. We got Radiant Marmot says, I just left a glowing review for some rags I bought on Amazon, but haven't received yet. Who do I talk to for a gift card? That's hilarious. That is absolutely freaking hilarious. That's probably one of the funniest things I've seen and wasn't expecting to see. And I'm not going to say anything else about it. We're going to move on. Neil White says, Van's looking clean. Good job, Dane. Dane, you are killing it. Thanks. you keep up that kind of work, and you might have a detailing career ahead of yourself.
I hope not.
Neil White says, "What was the water bill cost after Dane's last water?" Yeah, who knows, man. It's okay. At least he didn't flood the studio. Am I right? I was hoping Gabe was going to hear that, but I think it's polishing. Sheepstar says, ADS Amplify smells shockingly similar to Colonite Slicker. So, Sheepstar, they are the exact same scent. Well, I know this because I'd gotten a bottle of Colonite Slicker, and I actually was like around the same time I was trying ADS for the first time, and I go, holy smokes, it's the same scent. So same scent, completely different product, but yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that they both ended up using those same scent oils, which is funny. Or scent, but they're not the only ones. So if you're curious, Adams waterless wash from back in the day used to use the same exact scent, and the scent is called Fruit Slice, and it is on a list of scents that you can get from multiple different blenders, but it's called Fruit Slice. Technically, I think Adams was the first to use it, but I think it's based on the Volcano scent from Capri Blue that you can find over at Anthropology.
Ah, interesting.
I know my stuff.
Yeah, crazy.
I wish I didn't know that kind of stuff, but I do. So moving on. We've got Juice Free says, Dane kept all the slim dryers for himself. He is hoarding them all. Joy Blinsky, the Meridian Marmot, says, you savage creature. Meridian Marmot, dude, is here to stir some pots. We do not pay for reviews in any shape or form. Let's see. We've got Jay's Card Channel that says, shout out to TRC. Thanks for another great Q&A. Thank you, Jays. Thank you for the compliment, dude. You're gassing me up earlier. You're telling me that I'm funny. You're saying that Sydney's an upgrade. Like, I don't know. We didn't pay you, right? I don't think we did, but thank you so much. Green Apple Gatorade is amazing. They make a green apple.
Green apple? Now that I might be able to get behind.
I don't know. They make a green apple? I've never heard of that.
I've never seen it, but I would probably drink it because I'm all about the green apple Jolly Rancher.
For what it's worth, my wife hates this flavor.
Hates it?
Hates it.
Well, I'm not a fan of it either.
She thinks it's so gross.
Yeah.
She thinks it's gross that I drink them.
Yeah.
And I go, there's nothing you can do about it. There's no stopping the cucumber lime. Joey Valinsky here in the chat saying, that's it. I'm bringing Sydney all kinds of food to try in Monterey. We're feasting.
I don't eat any vegetables.
What about seafood?
No. I eat shrimp and crab.
Okay, crab.
No squid, no octopus. Don't you remember when I handed Levi my, what was that stuff called? Paella?
Paella, yeah.
Because I saw an octopus tentacle or something.
Octopus in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious. I love them.
No, that was so gross.
Okay.
And I'm the type that will just spit the food right out because I can't. I don't eat anything green except green beans.
You didn't eat the gold-plated caviar in Monterey?
No. Oh, my gosh.
I did. Dane remembers that.
No,
I was walking around that thing like I own the place.
I starve at Monterey.
Really?
Yeah, starve.
Remember the cheeseburgers at the end of that one night?
Yeah, I do remember the
That was actually
Was that in the VIP lounge? Did we have to sneak into the VIP lounge to get the cheeseburgers?
Yeah. Dude,
and I was like, this is so weird. We have all this fancy food down in the days of the regular part.
Detailing down in Monterey Car Week, right? And it's very bougie down there.
Yep.
Very, very fancy. Sheepstar says, the Meridian Marmot, me neither. No order, no gift card. Gave my FedEx tracking and everything. FedEx tracking and everything. Dude, this is getting like pretty deep. Moving on. Juice Free says, kids food, Gatorade, all the things are actually van related. Yes, they are. And then Juice Free says, man, I'm hungry now. I want a chicken sandwich.
Dude, shout out to the chicken sandwiches. I love chicken sandwiches.
Tamara Chase says, man, I graduated in 1986. Our high school was lucky we had pizza. Tim, I think that pizza was, I think, pretty common in the 90s. I mean, even at my elementary school in the 90s, we had pizza pretty often.
That square pizza they cut with scissors,
square
and then the
pizza,
chicken sandos,
and then they had the vat of ranch. You
Yeah.
go pump the ranch. It was meant for the salad, but then everybody was pumping it onto their pizza.
Right.
So it was just
it's like
these
a fondue pot.
soggy, ranchy pizzas. It was kind of crazy.
Do you remember what were those like pizza boats? That was like, remember they were kind of shaped like a boat. They were called like pizza boats or something.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Or were they called Mexican boats? What were they? They were called something, and they were like boats. And remember, it was kind of like a thicker crust. Were they made like a taco?
Was it a pizza?
It was something.
Pizza boats.
Was it pizza boats or was it taco boats?
Was it like a taco shell shaped like a boat with like ground beef in it?
Yeah, but it was not really like tortilla shell though. It was more like pizza crust, but maybe it was a
with
taco
ground beef in it.
Maybe. Were they called taco boats?
So what you're describing to me was something that I had very similar.
I remember they were this shape.
But it had ground beef in it. Is what we had.
Yeah.
And they had cheese.
Yeah, they were probably called taco boats.
All I know is this is something
Taco
nobody
boats?
asked us to talk about.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's all right. Moving on.
Somebody tell us.
We can talk about something else.
Here we go. Let's see. Oh crap, dude. Tony says Anthony's thighs and all of Sydney take up roughly the same percentage of the screen. Dude, I'm telling you, look at these things, man. These things are ready. These things are powerful and meaty. Like, I like to think if it was in a live situation and we crashed in the Andes, that you guys could survive off of my lower half for probably a good couple weeks. Just keep my upper half alive, right? I don't care if you have to saw them off. Just keep me alive during the process. Joey Belinsky laughing, LOL. Jimbo Slice is correct with the cerium oxide and the rayon pad. Rayon pad was what the word I was looking for earlier.
And a lot of patience. Did you read that part?
And a lot of patience, correct.
A lot of patience.
Sand the glass with 180 grit and fill up with 500 grit, then polish the 3D glass, polish with a rotary. So that can work. 180 is kind of sketchy on that, Hans, but I don't disagree with you. Mm-hmm. And then Jimbo says they got a new windshield for under 300, which was worth it to me. The old one was sandblasted. Mm-hmm. So I will eventually probably get a new windshield for my truck, but I was so mad about the glass scratches that I'm like, I'm pretty like hell-bent on fixing those or making them better. So I will do that here pretty soon. And then Glasswell does make something, but it's hardcore. Yeah. Rayon was the word I was looking for. And then Sheepstar says, remember when you polish glass and truly remove a layer, you will change the optical characteristics of it. You will also spend hours, not days, making a dent in anything above a microscopic. Correct. So basically what that means is that when you are changing the optical characteristics, that means that when light refracts through the glass, it is going to look warped or distorted, right? So when you are polishing glass, I think the same thing goes to apply for paintwork, right? You are trying to improve, not remove. And I think that when improving the glass, if you can make a scratch slightly less noticeable, or if you can make it to where maybe it's not catching a gleam in every single piece of light, that's ideal. That's probably best case. I think that going for full scratch removal, you are now dipping into the material of the glass, and at that point you are going to change the overall like optical
be super
how that looks. And trust me, I think you're gonna be way more annoyed driving at night and having some weird light effect happening in the area that you've polished rather than a scratch, truthfully. So
sure.
Let's see. Here we go. Joey Belinsky, I feel like these shorts are getting higher and higher. Like I'm showing more and more thigh every single minute. 50K cabinet budget, $50 chair budget. Seriously, I don't know who's making that. And then we have Tony M says maybe Anthony needs to pick the chairs since he's behind all the complaints. Maybe I will, Tony. Maybe I will go out there. I will pick the chairs, and honestly, they're going to be pretty basic. They're going to be probably the most basic, most comfortable, but ergonomic chairs possible. Mm-hmm. And then Jimbo Slice says it's been 3 to 4 weeks since it's been repainted, and we are on page 1. Wow, I can't believe it. Hydra Detailing, there's a Hydra on my shirt, says, hi all, what is the true hardness and scrub number on the yellow Kosh Chemi pad? Some sites say some as yellow, and then some sites say as red. If so, isn't the pad unnecessary besides the color? I do not know what the answer for that would be. I would reach out to Coach Chemi North America and see if you can get some more clarity on that. They just completely changed all their pads over the last year. Not so much the color scheming, but like I don't know from a actual like foam change what all the major stuff has been done. It was about SEMA when everything was released in TR SEMA, but that would have been probably a really good question during TRCMA. So I would see if you can reach out to them and see if we can find some answers for you. What the heck did I think we jumped to page 2. Oh, this is what happens to Dane sometimes. Here we go, back to page 1. And then Exodus says, what's Gabe process with the headlights polishing back there? Well, Gabe is not mic'd up right now, so I'm going to tell you that Gabe is doing something.
Is he using the Kosh?
Gabriel, what are you using?
Are you using
okay,
the
so the
Koch
process
system?
for headlights that I'm using back here is the headlight restoration
It's like
kit
he's
by
slowing
Koch.
Dane
Yeah.
back there,
So
doesn't he?
basically,
It's a little up close
this is
and
very
personal.
awkward. Just don't look at us.
Look at that.
So basically, you start with 1,000 grit, Trizac, and you work your way from 1,000 to 2,000.
Dave thought it was going to be a quick.
And then to 4,000. And then after you do 4,000, why'd you spritz me?
So it smells better.
Oh my God, Dane. And then after that, you do a heavy cut, and then you do your final polish.
And today we learned.
There you go.
What did he smell like, Gabe? Did he smell good?
Did he smell like coconut iron remover?
Hydra says, also now Therapy and Intervention is coming out. Do they replace the other polishing compounds of PNS or 3D? I also like that 3D adjusted polish with PNS twitches or compounding formula. Kind of unclear.
Yeah,
Something
I
like
love
that.
this question. This is a great question. So, first part of the question, does it replace other compounds polishes of PNS or 3D? Only PNS. So these two replace Ego Maker and Deep Finish. So those two will go away out of the double black line. So Rehab is in the professional line, Intervention and Therapy are in the double black line, and they replace those two products. So Ego Maker, Deep Finish are out. Has nothing to do with 3D, right? So 3D makes their own polishes. They have their own formulas. And then second part of your question, is this also 3D adjusted polishes with PNS tweaks? Completely new formula. So the only thing that these share with any kind of 3D name is we get our abrasives from 3D. So this is like the sand, the actual abrasive, right? So 3D is one of the only companies in North America that mills their own abrasives. So they have the whole kiln, the whole deal in their building. So we do use 3D abrasive technology in our formulas, but the formulas are completely different. So to everyone out there that says 3D1 and Rehab are the same, they could not be more different. And then same with, I think, is it called like 510 and 520 or something like that? Totally different delivery systems. So these are Dave's ground up, totally new formulas with 3D abrasive technology in them. But they're not anything like, I mean, not even close to the same when you use them. So
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Brian says it's more bougie. If you remove the badge, you pay extra for it. Definitely looks better. Okay. All right. I like that. That's not bad. Tony says you can't assert dominance over someone who has no idea what they're looking at anyway. If they don't know it's a Raptor, may as well be a Maverick. They don't know. That's hilarious.
Fair enough.
Hey, the Mavericks are pretty awesome, though.
Fair enough.
There we go. The entire scent rant was shockingly impressive, Anthony. Thank you, Joey. And then Hydra says, any ideas when the new PNS products will be released or come to TRC Europe, and the new towels?
So I want to say there is a container leaving to Europe tomorrow, and it will have all the new products on it with the exception of Intervention. So then Intervention will be at the, I don't know how many times we ship stuff there a year, but that's a tough one. But I do know there is an order on its way, and all of the other new products will be on that container. So soon. How about the towels?
The new towels, so the M22 this month.
Yeah. Okay. No, but I mean, are they going to Europe this month?
They are.
Oh, because they go direct, right? Yeah.
They are. So they are going this month.
Cool.
So moving on here, we've got, let's see, here we go. What's a good polish for crusty Civic B pillars? Black plastic, not exactly the same as piano black plastic. Depends, dude. It depends on what they are. Depends on what plastic they are, or if they're the vinyl B pillars. Sometimes if it's the vinyl, it's just really not worth polishing. I mean, you can try to polish and bring it back a little bit, but like you might be removing some of that top coat on the vinyl, which you want to be careful about. But if they truly are plastic, usually I used to use something like Hyper Polish from Kosh Chemi, or not Optimum is what I use, and I feel like that cuts pretty well. It doesn't stain them at all. You can usually cut through most of the defects, and then it won't gloss them out too much. But I would probably try that because I know what you're talking about, and you're right that it is not the same as piano black.
Yeah.
Emin checking in from DIY with Kane. So we got Minnesota in the house. And then Hydra says, Anthony, is that a Dragon Ball Z detail shirt? Awesome. This is actually from our friends over at G Technic, and this is for their Hydra coat, which they have this really cool dragon on it, which is pretty sweet. So thank you to my Kosh Chemi friends for, or not Kosh Chemi, G Technic. Did I say Kosh?
You did.
G Technic. God, sorry. G Technic, I'm so sorry. G Technic made this shirt. G Technic makes amazing shirts. I love you, G Technic. If you're watching this, I think I don't know why I said that. I'm embarrassed. It's like a family member got me something and gave credit to somebody else. Sydney sounds like she has the diet and palate of my nieces.
Yep. Never moved quite past the 10-year-old.
Yeah.
That is true.
Jay's Car Channel, Sydney, I'm with you on the Challenger. I feel the same way. Mine is a 2016 SRT Hellcat with a third pedal. Makes me grin like a little schoolgirl every time I drive it.
Yes, mine has the third pedal as well. Only way to do it.
Third pedal. I really like that. Okay. Just Average Nelson says, would Sydney rather have one of those Idaho Spud candy bars or half a bottle of Gatorade that Anthony is chugging? That's a good question.
Spud candy bar all the way. I love those things.
Sydney, those are horrible.
Oh, no, they're not. They're
a
so
joke.
good.
Sydney, it is a marshmallow chocolate.
With coconut. It's the best thing ever.
Okay, they're not horrible.
They're not
retract
horrible. Okay,
that.
but here's the deal. I will say, so the candy bar, maybe not the best, but the Spud Bites, like the little Spud Bites.
Never had them.
They sell them at Albertsons, like in the little packet. They're called Spud Bites.
Oh, yeah.
So, they're like little squares. And then you have the right proportions of marshmallow, chocolate, and coconut.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you got to do the Spud Bites. But I still would eat those every day over that.
So a couple months ago, I went to my sister's wedding in Canada.
Yeah.
I told everybody here.
Yeah.
Went up to Banff, and I stopped at the Boise airport. Well, I stopped at one of the shops, and I saw the Spuds, and I go, I gotta bring these as kind of like a gag, right? Because like everybody thinks that these are so horrible, right? I'm like, I gotta bring them to give to the few of the people there. So I bought like 5 or 6 of them, right? So I remember one of the nights we had gone to, I don't know, it was one of the Irish pubs or something that we went to. And I remember I had a couple drinks. They're like cocktails that they made, and I was like, oh, these are pretty good. And then they really started hitting me once I got back to the hotel room. I got really hungry. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I had no food in my hotel room. All I had was actually just more like beer that I bought to bring to everybody else there.
Gosh.
So I get to the hotel room, I'm starving. There's no gas stations, like, or I don't know what time they closed, but like it wasn't one that was conveniently open. And so I was like, do I have anything? Open up my backpack. I had a third a bag of Gardettos from the flight, right? In like the very that tiny bottom layer of just like crumbs.
Oh gosh.
And I started like eating that. I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm like, do I have anything else? And then I opened up the second pouch, and it's all these Idaho Spuds.
Oh my gosh. Did you eat one?
I ate 3 of them.
Oh my gosh.
I literally was like double fisting these Spuds, right? Going, pounding these down because I was so hungry.
Oh no.
And then I woke up the next morning and I saw the wrappers on the floor, and I just felt dirty. I just felt like, I committed a sin.
Okay, well, you got to try the Spud Bites.
Double fisting these Spuds here. So
Taco Pockets in the plastic bag.
Okay, so Taco Pockets. What does that mean?
I think my school. Well, I think my school called them boats, but
okay. Walking taco. Ooh, French bread pizza.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. French bread pizza. That's what I thought. And then I'm gonna throw this up for a quick second because it's weird, and then we're gonna move on. And then
Right.
Joey Belinsky.
Girls don't do that.
Joey Belinsky. Yeah, girls don't do that, dude. So Joey laughs. And then Kirby says, tip for any attempt to polish a windshield, always start on the passenger side first. If you mess up, that's true.
Fair enough.
And then the driver can still see to go buy a new one. Yeah, very true. It looks like Dane is nursing Gabriel.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Holy crap. And then sniffing Dane's chest.
What every growing boy needs.
Yeah.
And
Jay's
Gabe's
card
out.
channel says, hug Dane, don't be afraid to bring it in for the real thing. And then Dane will be leaving the wash bay with a hickey, which is...
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Between my thighs and that intimate action back there, I mean, gosh, this should be a paid program. Hydra Detailing says, thanks for making this
Ain't nobody signed
making
up
this
for
clear
that.
about the polishes. Keep it up. And then we've got rehab makes differs from 3D1. Never judge. They would be the same, different league for sure. I smell some Traceless being sprayed right now.
Whatever that is, it smells good.
It's Traceless.
That's Traceless.
Nice.
And then now he's going to town, says Sheepstar. When the container arrives, my money will leave, says Hydra. And then the dragon is from Dragon Ball Z for the info. Yes, I do think it says probably the same DBZ dragon. And then those Idaho spuds were sus. Mr. Hashtag Mr.
I was
Hanky.
going to ask Joey if he ate his.
Yeah.
I think people are afraid of what's inside of them.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't
I see
blame
the
'em.
blue collar on closeout. Is it being discontinued? DIY with Kane. I don't think it's necessarily being discontinued. I think for right now we have overstock of them, and that's why they're there. LOL Joey, Heidi ho. And then we've got, what's everyone's favorite thing to use to dress plastic fender wells? Full send. You like full send? Right?
Yeah, full send or dynamic, but yep, full send is probably my first go-to.
Dude, I use usually whatever the heck I got, right? It depends if I'm doing a hand application or a spray application. Full send's great for a spray application. If I'm doing like a by hand application, then usually PSS from Coach Chemi's pretty awesome. Motorplast, Coach Chemi's awesome as well. And then girls don't do that. LOL epic. And then Jeff C says, I had an unfortunate incident yesterday with a tree branch in my car. I may have been under the influence of cold meds. Oh no. Hoping there's still some paint left below the tree bark transfer.
Bummer.
After a contact wash, what is your best chemical recommendation to remove the transfer? I would do tea first. Do tea, see what happens. You might be able to rub some of that stuff out. And then if not, then you know what to do to jump to the next step. So that is going to wrap it up for questions for us for today. It looks like that's pretty much it, unless there's anything else, and I don't think there is.
Come and examine my work.
So, all right, Dane, I'm going to get up. Sid, I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. Oh, it feels good to see him after sitting in those uncomfortable chairs.
Yeah, don't do what you
Not
did last
gonna wipe
time.
the headlight.
Dane, this looks great.
Thanks.
Wow. You did a good job. Got a little water spots here, but that's...
Yeah, there's a fair amount of water spots on it already.
Why is this like a scene from Spot or something? Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Just
Good
speaking to the
job, buddy.
microphone. That's how it's got to
Listen,
work.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
sit-
no, you don't have to get too intimate.
I'm not going to start licking your neck like
No, oh, no, please don't. Okay.
No, it looks really good. You guys killed it.
gosh.
I would say polish up. You guys going to polish up the mirrors?
Probably. I'm going to leave that to Gabe.
Gabe?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Polish up the mirrors, man. This thing's going to be money. So that's
Looks
gonna be
nice.
it. Sydney,
Yeah,
can you take it away?
absolutely. Thanks everyone. Oh my goodness. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Just died.
Dane and I will be back next week, right?
Yeah.
Anthony's going to be on daddy duty.
Sydney and I will
And-
keep it going
yeah.
while you guys are away.
Yeah. Yep. Well, thanks everyone.
Hit that like button, guys, please. And make sure you subscribe for more stuff here on the Rag Company YouTube channel. For the rest of us, if you want to see me detail again, leave a comment down below. That's all I'm going to say for now. Have a great weekend.
See ya.